total, all singles. And I don't know if they've broken that run. They were on a run of 20 consecutive hits, and they were all singles. I don't know if that was at the end of play yesterday or before. They sorely need some punch in that lineup, and that's why they're talking about Alfonso Soriano.
Three and one. An update from Kane County, thanks to Wayne Randazzo, the voice of the Cougars, giving us Scott Baker's line tonight. 3 innings plus, 5 hits, 3 runs, 63 pitches, 39 strikes. His fastball topped at 89 as the bases are loaded for the second time tonight. Both times with 2 outs for the Diamondbacks. On a number of innings more than the results. Seems like Scott Baker's still a bit away from getting back to this level. Probably see Jake Arrieta in the doubleheader next Tuesday against the Brewers. Might see Justin Grimm at some point. So the Cubs still have some good depth in terms of starting pitching candidates. Much better depth than they did late last year. 0-2. And 2 bounces. Castro will throw to first, and the inning is over. The Diamondbacks have stranded 6. And the Cubs lead 2-0 after 4.
This summer, we're going to leave it all behind to stay at 5-star resorts. Get front row seats to a show, lounge by the pool all day, and enjoy the nightlife like only we could, because summers are built for Jeep SUVs. Check out the Jeep Summer Clearance Event. Now, well-qualified lessees get a low-mileage lease on the 2014 Patriot Latitude for $209 a month.
Refreshment. Grab a frost-brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
What's better, being the best at something or just being okay?
Best.
Okay, why?
I would be the best doctor because I would give them casts if they're hurt. There's colorful casts with stickers on them.
You would just give them casts?
With stickers. Stickers that say feel better. No.
It's not complicated. Best is better. And AT&T shares the #1 ranking for network performance in Chicago.
Time now for our Cubs insider, Patrick Mooney. He's brought to you by Nationwide Insurance agent Jeff Vukovich. Visit jeffvuk.com. Nationwide is on your side. Cubs leading 2-0. Seems like there's a news story every day. Twitter blowing up when the lineup came out. Alfonso Soriano getting a day off. He did talk to the media before the game, and we're getting some more details on the Yankees' interest.
Yeah, Sori's definitely open to going back to New York, where it all kind of began for him. And at this point, Theo's kind of waiting on a more formal kind of notification. Sori wants some time to think about it. There's still other kind of pieces that have to fall into place, but clearly this has generated a ton of momentum over the last, say, 48 hours or so.
Sounds like whenever Theo addresses these types of situations, things do clear up, because he's pretty honest about it, isn't he? I know the quote today, Patrick, was essentially, if Sori's going to be moved, this would be a good time, because the Cubs have A lot of outfielders and young guys, a couple on the DL who may be back at some point. Got to find some playing time.
Yeah, as attractive as this opportunity would be to go back to New York, I think the Cubs are also looking at what Junior Lake has done and kind of the opportunity to develop a couple of more guys. And I don't think they want next year a 38-year-old left fielder. So this could be kind of perfect timing for both sides. Sorry to get a ring, or at least make a playoff run, and the Cubs to see what Junior Lake's got.
2-1 on Castillo.
And clearly not an easy decision for Soriano. He likes Chicago. He's unbelievably popular in that clubhouse. The guys would hate to see him go. He's getting a lot of at-bats out there that he's not guaranteed to get in New York. But the other carrot dangling out there is there's next year too, right? So if he's a Yankee for the rest of this year and then next year, and they're always in go for it mode in New York. So the likelihood that he's on a postseason team next year far greater there than in Chicago.
Strike 3, 1 away.
And he's certainly not looking to leave Chicago or anything like that. But he kind of, after listening to trade rumors for years and years and years, this was like the first time I think where it felt really, really close, and you could kind of tell that he was just, his body language, his voice, he just seemed resigned to kind of moving on here pretty soon.
Now Samardzija with 1 out. Yeah, JD and I were talking to one of the Cubs players today, and I don't know if the word was devastated, but essentially saying if and when it does happen that they will sorely miss Alfonso's leadership in that clubhouse. It's interesting, Kevin Gregg's locker is right next to Soriano's. I joked with both of them. I said, okay, you're still here, we got it all covered. But it is a little unsettling, as we talked about the other day. There's a rocket caught by Goldschmidt. Samardzija hit that one right on the button.
And Goldschmidt, he's a two-way player. He's not just a good hitter. He can do it all. He runs well, a good defender. Quick reactions there, takes a base hit away from Samardzija.
But just to finish the point, Patrick, I know some fans roll their eyes when Samardzija or another player, when Garza gets traded, so they don't understand it. It's the player's job to want their teammates to stay. You don't want them playing GM. Their job's to win ball games.
Yeah, I think this guy at the plate right here is someone who Theo talked about as well as a perfect example for younger players. Coming down to Arizona Rookie League, Theo told a story about how DeJesus was kind of running in from center field because a player forgot his sunglasses, running 90 feet down the bases hard. Exactly what the Cubs want those young players to see. Now, that said, he's not untouchable, but he's certainly a guy they're not looking to get rid of immediately.
And I think it's also, and JD can speak to this, part of the reason why the front office doesn't spend a lot of time in the clubhouse. They have a good relationship with the players, but unlike players, JD, you don't want your general manager to develop this emotional bond with players and feel like that somehow gets in the middle of whether or not you feel you can improve your club by moving somebody. Because who wants to trade away David DeJesus or Alfonso Soriano in terms of the leadership they do provide?
And that's one of the tough parts of that job. You have to kind of take a cold look at it sometimes and separate the emotions. I mean, the guy that Theo and Jed don't spend a lot of time in the clubhouse, but they're around these guys enough to develop relationships on a certain level, and they know who the good guys are, and it's never easy to say goodbye to a real good guy. But at the same token, you've got a plan in place and you're trying to execute a plan.
Patrick, if and when Soriano does get moved, that's really the last of the long-term kind of bloated contracts on this payroll.
Yeah, I think off the top of my head, that would only leave Samardzija as the last guy from the 2008 team.
We just discussed his contractual situation. It's very team beneficial right now since they have him under control for 2 more years.
Yeah, it seems like every move the Cubs make, Samardzija's kind of asked, what does this mean for you? Obviously, there's no urgency right now to do it. He's someone who wanted to bet on himself to prove himself as a #1 or #2 guy for a couple of seasons. And he obviously made that money coming out of Notre Dame. So I think he's probably your opening day starter for years to come.
Ground ball, and it will result in probably a hit considering how far Prado had to go to pick it up. That'll keep the inning alive. This is way under the radar right now, but I do wonder if the Cubs will talk to Travis Wood maybe in the offseason about a longer-term deal after what he's done this year.
Yeah, one of my teammates, Dan Hayes, had talked to him at the All-Star game about that, and Travis said, of course, I want to be a big part of what Theo and Jed are doing, and I think, the year he's put together certainly is something that they're going to discuss. They've used that blueprint, obviously with Starlin and Rizzo. It wouldn't be that kind of magnitude, but certainly he's a guy. They love his athleticism and his competitiveness, and he's a great left-handed piece for this rotation.
JD, when you were a player, what was the advice you got? What I hear from younger players is take that first contract. If you're 25, 26, let a club buy out some arbitration. Make sure you make your money. There's another gapper for Junior Lake. De Jesus around third. He will score. The kid has done it again. 5 RBIs for him in his first 6 games, and it's 3-0.
This guy's absolutely out of control. It's just unbelievable the show he is putting on. Never mind Yasiel Puig. It's all about Junior Lake these days. Every time he steps into the batter's box, something good happens. Not that easy, kid. Maybe it is. I don't know. Chewing up that real estate with those long strides. Yeah, the numbers, the math has changed.
Sure.
And clubs are becoming more proactive, locking up players with less service time. It used to be you didn't really monkey with guys till they're in their 5th year, and you're closing in on free agency. Strategy has changed now, identifying those core pieces going forward, try to buy up some of their arbitration and bite into their free agency time a little bit too. And that's the challenge for GMs, to make sure you get the right guys. You don't want to overreact to a player who's having a big year too. You can go, oh man, here's our guy, lock him up to a 5- or 6-year deal, and all of a sudden the guy goes south on you.
2-0. I think we know Junior Lake's going to stay in that lineup for the time being.
It was funny, Sori was asked about Junior Lake today, and his face kind of lit up, and he said it kind of reminds me of me almost, just in 2006 being converted from an infielder to an outfielder, and obviously the power and speed, the combination, and he said he has the talent to reach that. Not that he's putting 40-40 on him, but he says he has all the tools, the physical ability to be able to do something like that.
06 with the Nationals was Soriano's career year. The 3-0 to Rizzo, ball 4. And any other loose ends to tie up, Patrick? I know it's been a busy series here, to say the least.
Yeah, Junior Lake show. I guess that'll be the big story tonight, and obviously it hasn't even been a week, but it's been pretty impressive to watch. Anybody else? Any other not necessarily Cub-related trade rumors floating out there in the baseball world that have gotten your attention? I think it's interesting how the Cubs are really one of the few kind of definite sellers out there now that you've seen kind of what they've done, and Theo said they're probably not done, but whatever they're thinking of doing outside of Sori would probably be closer towards the trade deadline next week. It actually has to benefit the Cubs, right? That the fact that the Mariners have started to play well, the Phillies refuse to go into sell mode. So when you're one of the few teams that people have identified as sellers, people keep ringing your bell, knocking on your door and saying, what do you got?
Yeah, the Royals too, also one of those teams on the fence, it appears. All right, Patrick, thanks for the time.
No problem. Thanks,
Check
guys.
him out. CSNChicago.com, our Cubs insider.
Want a piece of candy? We got some candy there for you. For our parting guest.
Yeah, parting gift. We've got some M&Ms.
Kit Kat bar there.
1 strike.
It's the least we could do. We have to come up with a sponsor who has a little gift for Patrick whenever he comes by. Maybe a home edition of our game.
How about some insurance? 1-1. This looked like it might be a quick 1-2-3, but then DeJesus with that single off the glove of Prado. And Lake doubled. Rizzo walked. Now Sherholtz.
They don't get that one called.
Yank foul out of play. Crushed to deep right. If it's fair, it's gone. It is a home run. A 3-run shot for Sherholtz. And they've doubled their lead. It's 6-0.
And just like that, a tight ball game opens up big time. 2 out, nobody on. Single, double, walk. Big fly. Second one in as many days for Sherholtz as a pinch hitter yesterday. Ford home run replay showing Nate Sherholtz hitting number 13. I think Mike Morzello called that one. He's got the look of a man who said he's going to go deep right here.
6 RBIs the last 2 nights for Sherholtz.
Feels so good, feeling good again.
This the outside, 2-1. 4 2-out runs. Junior Lake's OPS 1,558. That would be a record if he does it the rest of the year. Well, Lake has grabbed a lot of the headlines, but Nate Sherholtz maybe one-upping him in the 5th with a 3-run homer, and it's 6-0 Cubs.
It's the end of the model year. Now with bonus cash, Nissan is giving you the bottom line, with up to an additional $1,000 on top of existing offers on select models. Shop at ChooseNissan.com.
Jack Link's Beef Jerky presents Messin' with Sasquatch. Jack Link's Jerky. Feed your wild side.
If you want the best of baseball all season long, Xfinity from Comcast gives you the best seat in the house. With MLB Network, you get live games 4 nights a week, plus 24/7 insider coverage and live look-ins every night. This is MLB Network on Xfinity. This is awesome. Sign up for the Xfinity HD Preferred XF Triple Play with MLB Network, or ask about other bundles starting at only $99 a month for 12 months. Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Call 1-800-XFINITY today.
It's the end of the model year. Now with bonus cash, Nissan is giving you the bottom line, with up to an additional $1,000 on top of existing offers on select models. Shop at ChooseNissan.com.
Hi, I'm David Kaplan with a Coors Light Sportsnet Central update. Chicago City Council, they approved a $500 million renovation plan for Wrigley Field. Among the final details, a 10-year moratorium on new outfield signs, the team deferring its request to build a pedestrian bridge over Clark Street. Todd Hollingsworth joins me later on the post-game show. Now we go back to AZ, Len and JD in the desert.
Thanks, Cap. Get real-time info, including pitcher gas gauge stats, tweets with Cubs in-game live only at CSNChicago.com. It's brought to you by Comcast Business Class. Big lead for a guy who's had pretty dominating stuff so far.
The table setter will probably be taking here. Time for Jeff to really pound the strike zone. This big cushion.
How about this? Justin Grimm, the right-handed pitcher, just made his Iowa Cubs debut. He came into pinch run and scored the tying run against the New Orleans Zephyrs. It was in the 9th inning. So they've gone to extras, tied at 1.
Probably not how he anticipated making his Iowa Cubs debut.
The Boise debut for Chris Bryant did not go so well. Last night he went 0 for 5 with 5 strikeouts.
That'll make a good story someday.
Yeah,
thumping home runs in the big leagues.
We were talking with Anthony Rizzo before the game as Eaton takes a leadoff walk. He said he'll probably never do that again in his pro career. And he might be right.
Smart heads-up play by Bryant, not to set the bar too high early on. Start low and climb gradually. So I talked earlier about Jeff, his mechanics of flying open. Sometimes the shoulder will drift towards first base a little early instead of extending down the mound. And when that happens, that fastball will have all kinds of run and he'll leave it out of the strike zone.
Slider missed low and in on Parra. Play all 3 spots in the outfield. Won the Gold Glove in 2011. I think that was as a left fielder. I like that, by the way, that change. They used to just give Gold Gloves to the top 3 outfielders. The problem is no left fielder would ever win it. But it is an actual position.
Yeah, speedy center fielders and strong-armed right fielders. You know, normally you consider the center fielders the best defensive players.
I guess the only problem with that is if you do have a guy like Parra, or in years past Carlos Gonzalez, he's now playing left. There's a base hit. Cargo used to move around. Is you do penalize guys like that if they don't have one outfield position. So the Diamondbacks with their biggest threat, first and second, nobody out. They've had the bases loaded twice, but both times came with 2 outs, including Ian Kennedy being at the plate in the 4th.
Yeah, so now it's 2 on, nobody out for the National League RBI leader. At least he was last time I checked.
He was going into action tonight.
Walked first time up. Samardzija blew him away with fastballs in the 3rd. Got ahead with a slider, then threw a couple 98s up and in, and he chased him. Here's where he ranks in the National League. Pretty impressive resume for Paul Goldschmidt. Didn't come out of nowhere, but was not expected to be this kind of a player.
He was born in Delaware, went to high school in Houston.
Went to high school with my daughters, the Woodlands.
Really?
Yeah, he was was on a team with Kyle Drabeck. I think they won that mythical national championship in Woodlands High School. They won the state championship. And whoever it is that throws around those national championships, Gatorade or somebody, made them the national champions.
2-1. Pitch count getting up there for Jeff. He's got a big lead. 90 pitches. We will see a fair amount of bullpen tonight. Foul tip. 2-2.
Yeah, the dangerous thing about Goldschmidt, normally in this situation with a slugger up and a couple on, you're thinking, well, just don't give him anything to jerk out of the ballpark. But Goldschmidt is so strong, he goes to right center very well. So you're not necessarily pitching away from his strength when you pitch him away.
That's what they'll do.
Oh, that's a beautiful pitch. It's the third double take from Samardzija. He's like, come on, Angel. Well, that's frustrating. You got a dangerous hitter up there, and you make a pitch like this.
That's a strike.
Yeah.
Under what circumstances is that not a strike? The 3-2. And they're loaded. Now Jeff's got to forget about it, which is not easy to do. Oh, man. You can just see it on his face.
Couple deep breaths. Let's see Chris Bosio. Look like Dale Swain looking over his shoulder at Bosio as if to say, you want to go talk to him? And here's that one we're talking about. That's how you make your living as a pitcher right there.
Well, part of being an ace is dealing with adversity, and they have him loaded with no outs, and he can overthrow there. Now comes Chris Bosio.
Wait one more, and that was clearly just reaching back and trying to throw 100 miles an hour out of frustration. Time to reboot things here.
I wonder if Chris will wait and make sure the home plate umpire comes to the mound to break up the meeting.
Well, I'm guessing he wants to settle the situation down more than anything right now. So maybe a passing comment on his way by, but I don't expect anything heated here.
Yeah, a little look.
He's looking at Angel had already retreated. Now, if that visit were to have come after a bases clearing double, I suspect Bosio would have made sure he waited until Angel came out.
The 1-0, swing and a miss, and a high fastball. So Bez trying to get his team back in the game with one swing.
In case things get out of hand, I'll make sure somebody's ready to go. Times in this situation, the great pitchers would tell you, don't try to overpower the hitter. Just outsmart him. Execute pitches.
Blake Parker.
Sometimes in this situation, you see Greg Maddux throw a change up or a little sinker down and away and get a hitter to roll over, get a double play, clean up an inning. Not sure if that's by design, but everything's been up. Certainly that split finger up was not his intention.
Lifted in the air behind third for the first out. A big one for Samardzija. Now he's a pitch away, theoretically, getting out of the inning.
Prado has bounced into 15 double plays more than anybody on their club.
Up the middle. Ooh, it got under the glove of Barney. He was thinking 2 and instead gets none, and they'll get a couple of runs. It's 6-2.
Boy, softly hit for all the world. Looked like a double play, and the bag got him. You know, whether it hit the bag or he thought it was going to hit the bag, it clearly disrupted the play for Barney out there behind second base. Otherwise, Cubs are trotting into the dugout, and Samardzija still has a shutout.
Error on Barney, an RBI for Prado. Only one RBI for Prado. Still more trouble, first and third.
Yeah, with that last replay, I'm not so sure that the base had that much of an influence on the play. At first glance, I thought it did, but maybe not.
A strike to Kubel. So he batted with the bases loaded in the first, struck out to end the inning. Batted with 1 on in the 4th and 2 on here in the 5th. Goldschmidt ready to tag, but he won't have a chance. Lake makes a catch. 2 down. Bring up Nieves, the catcher.
And one thing with a young player you're always worried about, and balls like that, tweeners, whether it's between the infield and the outfield or between 2 outfielders, sometimes young players are not assertive enough. They shy away when they should take charge of the play. It looked like Lake pretty aggressive there, taking command of that pop-up. Everything about his game looks like he's been here for a couple of years, as opposed to less than 1 week.
Barney will get another chance. And the inning is over. They get 2, but good damage control by Samardzija. It is now 6-2.
people enjoy their music on the iPhone than any other phone.
Now at Burger King, choose 2 sandwiches for just $5. Whether you're craving a new bacon cheddar stuffed burger and an original chicken sandwich, an original chicken sandwich and a premium Alaskan fish sandwich, or even a Whopper and another Whopper. Get 2 for just $5 today. Only at Burger King, where taste is king.
It's time to head someplace new, wherever that may be. The all-new 2014 Mitsubishi Outlander with advanced safety technologies, 31 miles per gallon and room for 7. It's never been easier to find your own lane.
Tomorrow, don't miss a pitcher's duel on the South Side as Cy Young winners Jake Peavy and Justin Verlander square off in the series finale. Coverage begins at 12:30 with Subaru pregame live. White Sox, Tigers, tomorrow at 12:30 on Comcast Sportsnet.
August 10th, 16 Chicago teams will compete to be the first Woody's Wiffle Ball Classic champion. The Woods will welcome Chicago's favorite celebrities for a home run derby and celebrity game under the lights of Wrigley, and you can join all the fun. Purchase tickets at woodyswiffleballclassic.org. Went right over and told Darwin Barney, don't worry about it. Cubs lead by 4. Here's right-hander Josh Colmenter. A.J. Pollock has come in to play left as well. He'll hit in the 9th spot.
Colmenter, formerly a starting pitcher, exclusively out of the pen this year, right over the top with that delivery. Very unique. You don't see many guys straight overhand like Colmenter.
You want to tell the story?
The tomahawk story?
Yeah. He's from Michigan.
Yeah.
And I guess he and his brothers like to throw hatchets.
He's got a hatchet delivery.
Throw trees in the woods. Now Buena grounds out. Hey, Cub fans, join Cubs board member Todd Ricketts on August 25th for a charity 100-mile bike ride that starts and ends at Wrigley Field. After the ride, celebrate on the outfield with a performance by Bodines. For exclusive details, go to worldbicyclerelief.org. Barney bounces foul. The error by Darwin, just the 3rd of the season for last year's Gold Glove winner.
A good long while without committing one. There's that delivery of Colmenter.
That delivery is so over the top.
Yeah, it is over the top. It's kind of like Mike Marshall, the former relief pitcher, is teaching a delivery, I think, similar to this. His theory is this is a very healthy way to pitch. And there are a lot of biomechanical studies now that are showing that it's healthier to be more vertical with your rotation versus horizontal. So you want your shoulders to actually dip. Think Ferris wheel versus merry-go-round.
Nice.
Drops that back shoulder and comes right over the top. Good changeup.
Rough night for the starter Kennedy. 5 innings, 7 hits, 6 runs. ERA stands at 5.52. Ground ball to third. And Chavez will spin, throw, and get him. So that is the 6th time Kennedy has allowed at least 5 runs in a start this year. Check that, 6th time. Time now for our AT&T tweet of the game. Wouldn't it make sense that catchers would be the best hitters? They see more pitches than any other player.
Joe Mauer would agree with that.
No.
Yadier Molina.
Piazza.
It's all about the skill set.
Yes. And what makes a catcher a good catcher doesn't necessarily make him a good hitter. Bobble, Gregorius.
Stop.
Safe at first. So an error on Gregorius.
His 8th. Fairly routine ground ball. He just boots it, recovers quickly, makes it close. Willie able to beat it. There are 46 starters in the National League who have pitched enough innings to qualify. Among the league leaders, Ian Kennedy's ERA better only than Edinson Volquez. I was surprised to see that when I was looking at those numbers today, that there's only 46 guys who have pitched enough innings to qualify.
Yeah. So when you say last in the league in ERA, it's not really technically last. It's just last among qualifiers.
Right. To be a qualifier, you have to have pitched an inning for every game your team has played.
No, that doesn't mean you have to pitch every game 1 inning. Just the total. Base hit in the left. So Marges made contact a couple of times very nicely tonight. He lined out to first in the 5th and singles here in the 6th.
Well, pitch count being what it was, there was probably some thought of pinch hitting for him, but Dale's going to give him 1 more inning, and Marges rewards him with a base knock. Pretty nice return from injury. 2 out of 3. Double single. Scored twice. Now you're from Michigan. Do you ever throw hatchets? Is that a Michigan thing? Or is it just a Clementer thing?
Not that I know of. I grew up in a rural area. I'm sure there was a lot of hatchet throwing around there, but I was not one of those throwers. I threw a baseball.
It's one of those things you would expect to just be like a myth that you read on the back of somebody's baseball card.
Right.
Oh, Josh, while growing up, threw hatchets at trees.
Topper, Clementer will underhand flip to Goldschmidt. The inning's over. An error and a single with 2 outs, but no runs. It's 6-2 Cubs.
At Casey Jackson tweets, "Oh, it's cool. It's not like I had plans or anything. Hashtag stupid car." Casey, stop by the Honda Summer Clearance event and get a great deal on a new Civic. It comes standard with Bluetooth and Pandora compatibility. So instead of being all hashtag stupid car, you could be all hashtag yeah.
Get a great deal on the fuel-efficient Civic at the Honda Summer Clearance event, happening now. Saturday, it's a battle with the reigning World Series champs as Rizzo and the Cubs square off with Buster Posey and the Giants in the City by the Bay. Coverage begins at 7:30 with Subaru pregame live. Don't miss Cubs Giants Saturday at 7:30 on Comcast Sportsnet.
I'm definitely a perfectionist. Details are really important during four-course. I want to make sure that everything is perfect. That's why I do what I do.
It's Red Lobster's 4-course seafood feast. Just $14.99. Start your feast with a choice of soup and salad plus biscuits. Next, choose one of 9 amazing entrees, like new coconut and citrus grilled shrimp or linguine with shrimp and scallops. Then finish with dessert. Your 4-course seafood feast. Just $14.99.
Everything needs to be picture perfect. I'm Reza, culinary manager, and I see food differently.
You arrive with 2 friends, increasing your group approachability 35%. Todd is a mouth breather, which hurts your game, so you send him to the pool table. At the bar, you order a Modelo Especial, upping your novelty score 30%. Your good taste doesn't go unnoticed by this intriguing woman. You have exactly 3 seconds to decide what to say. That's it. Keep it simple. Modelo Especial. Discover the Especial.
Friday, don't miss the opening ceremonies of the 2013 Blackhawks Convention live on Comcast Sportsnet. See Taves, Kane, and the crew hoist the cup for Chicago as the team reunites in front of their biggest fans. We'll have all the action live Friday night at 5 on Comcast Sportsnet.